Well, good morning from Jinja, Uganda. I'm just gonna head down to Lake Victoria shore to check out the lakeside, as well as the source of the Nile River. It's actually one of Lonely Planet's least recommended sites in the area, ironically, even though it is probably the biggest site in the area. They do charge $60 US just to take a little boat to the middle of the river. I could see it from shore for free, so that's what we're gonna do today. It's quite a small town, definitely developing. If you look this way, you will be able to see Lake Victoria in the distance. Let me just see if I can zoom in on that. So that is where we're gonna head right now. So I'm walking down Main Street here in Jinja, Uganda. Pretty quiet morning for a Tuesday. Heading down towards the lake. Some beautiful artworks on display for sale. Pretty chill place. I was expecting much less tourist infrastructure, but they definitely have developed this to cater to the needs of tourists. There are a lot of cafes, coffee shops, restaurants, hotels, everything else. And I'm a big fan of these covered sidewalks here. Definitely gives you some shade from the sun. Beautiful colored buildings as well, a lot of the roofs you can see. Some interesting, almost Art Deco architecture here in downtown Jinja. This is the adorable little post office here in Jinja. Very old school. Alright, so I have made it to Lake Victoria. This is the largest lake in Africa, stretching all the way down to Tanzania, to Kenya, and to Uganda. There's a lot of people trading and doing business, washing some clothes by the looks of it. Kids are collecting something over there. Really beautiful lakeside here in Uganda.
Doing different activities.
Yeah, different activities is right.
This is called Ripon Fishing Village.
Ripon
Fishing Village.
The Ripon Fishing Village is what the name of this is.
Eastern Uganda.
Sorry?
It's the side of Eastern Uganda.
Eastern Uganda.
Yeah.
Very beautiful.
Very beautiful place. Two months, 3 months, rainy season begins.
The rainy season begins. What month? September, October?
September, October.
Yeah, okay.
Now we are in a few rainfall, and high May time goes on.
Checking out some of the village homes here. This is a chicken basket for transporting chickens. A lot of chickens running around here. Beautiful coastline here. Lots of boats docked for the day. And we're just hanging out. So I guess they collect a small fee when you visit the village. 10,000 shillings, which is about 3 US. To tour around, take some photos, and see how the locals live around here. And these are temporary homes. I guess the Uganda Constitution says you can't permanently live here. So people live here on a temporary basis. There's a prison in the distance. And Uganda builds its prisons on the water because most prisoners can't swim, so they can't escape. Hi, how are you?
Fine.
That's good. You have a nice village here.
A nice village, but government village.
Government village.
People, they stay uncomfortable.
They have a little market here though, they're selling some fruits.
The market.
Yeah, vegetables, eggplant, pepper, cabbage, mangoes, banana, and lots of chicks here, eh? Rooster chicks. Cute. They must eat a lot of chicken here. Many, many, many silverfish here for sale on the streets of the village. Really cool. Very cool experience visiting this village. So it's a pretty cool experience to kind of delve into this. I kind of feel a little bit awkward though. I feel like I'm crashing a party, a little bit of a outsider peering in, just thinking about how I would feel having some guy with a camera show up and take pictures. But it was very cool to visit, and I highly recommend it. I had no idea this existed. For 10,000 Ugandan shillings, $3. Very cool experience, highly recommended. Check it out if you are in the Jinja area. Go check out the Source Cafe here in downtown Jinja. So just trying the iced Americano here. It looks a little bit too weak for my liking. Armed guards all over the place. Most of the sidewalks here are covered. Like I said before, it does give the town an interesting ambience. I'm just wandering around downtown still. I'm going to head to the source of the Nile here very shortly. Take a peek down the river, see where the Nile begins. Longest river in the world, travels over 6,000 kilometers north of here to Egypt. So I am looking forward to seeing where it all begins. Beautiful day here in Jinja. Again, it's a really chill town. Tons of old colonial and otherwise old architecture here in town. Definitely some Hindu letters there with some Indian names, so I'm not sure what the history is there, why that might be the case, but likely has something to do with Indian trading back in the British era. Very beautiful town here in Jinja. Definitely come by if you ever have a chance. Taking another boda-boda down to the Nile River right now. It's getting pretty fun to ride these things. I really like them. It's like a Hindu temple right there. Many Indian people here?
Many.
Indian, yeah?
Yeah, many.
Many. Gone the wrong way for a little while, now we've turned around, heading the right direction towards the Nile. It's very dangerous. They are skilled drivers, though I'm not really that scared. They know what they're doing. Definitely a fun way to get around Jinja. Well, it pays to hire a boda-boda driver because this guy knew exactly where to go to get an incredible view of the Nile, which I haven't seen yet, but I am impressed even with the walk to the Nile. If you look over here, this is some of the most lush green forest that I have seen so far in Africa. Very beautiful place. There's a boat right there, which indicates that the Nile is right over there. That's where we're headed down. Footing is a little bit rough here, for sure. Be a bit careful. That is the Nile River. On board a pontoon here, checking out the view of the Nile. If you look down there, that is the bridge that connects the west half of Jinja with the east half. And this is the Nile. So if we follow the river that way, 6,500 kilometers or so, you will reach the mouth of the Nile in the Mediterranean Sea in the north of Egypt. This is the White Nile right here. The Blue Nile branches off and goes to Ethiopia, so there is two Nile rivers in a sense in this area. And if we look down the other way, that is the direction towards the source of the Nile River, which is right down there in the center. There's some tourist boats that will take you there for about 30 US. I've been on the Nile when I was in Luxor and Aswan in Egypt. I remember it well. And it's crazy to know that halfway down through the heart of Africa here, this river still continues, really bringing life to all the countries along its way. I mean, this is a massive source of water for all the countries along its route, so very cool to see the magnitude of this. It's really great to be hanging out here on the side of the river today. Tranquil place, there's nobody here, it's beautiful. Quiet as can be. All you can hear is the chirping of the cicadas and the birds in the distance. From here, I am headed to Kampala, Uganda, which is about 2 hours away by shared taxi. If you have a chance, stop in Jinja. Lots of tourist infrastructure, a lot of things to see. It's very comfortable. I'd actually be tempted to stay longer, though I'm on a tight schedule if I want to see everything. Otherwise, I'd probably stick around for a while. All right, I'm going to check out the Nile Special. It's supposed to be one of the best beers in Uganda. The beer is very cheap, so 5,000 shillings, roughly $1.60 US, gets you a 500 ml mega beer. It's brewed at the source of the River Nile here in Jinja. Local beer, as local as you can get, very good, definitely cheap, and it is just a lovely way to spend a Tuesday afternoon. Really good taste. It's a bit light, I guess, for my liking, but it is excellent. By the way, this is called the Bourbon Restaurant. So if you have a chance to visit Jinja, check out the Bourbon Restaurant. It's got a bar right here. They got some plush couches here. Really nice place. Plush couches, umbrellas. Jinja is definitely not on the tourist trail as it would be known around the world. I mean, I had never heard of this city prior to 2 days ago. Really is a undiscovered secret here. Get here before everybody else does. I have a feeling this place is going to kick off in terms of tourism. Anyway, from Jinja, Uganda, cheers, and I will see you in Kampala.